Hey guys, Chaz here from Pugliese Speed Shop, and as you may know, we try to do a couple tech tips around here. You know, about one a week. Most of them, they revolve around stuff inside the shop, working on cars and what might be safer, easier, neither, whatever, right? But every now and then you got to concentrate on what goes on outside the shop. Here's your Tuesday morning tech tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. So if you guys been here for a little while, we spend most of our time in the shop. Mainly because, we love working on stuff and we got an awful lot of junk, so we don't got much of a choice. However, every now and then, it's nice to, take a little break, right? Maybe shoot over to a car show. Go pick up another project, maybe even take a little vacation. Now, we haven't done any of those in a while because, well, one, we don't really have any cars that are running. We definitely don't need another project, and, well, we got too much work to do to need a vacation. Well, we need one, maybe, but we got too much work to do to actually go on one. That doesn't mean that your friends don't make better decisions than you and have a chance to go do that. And that's kind of what this is about. So you guys all know Michael. He's, he introduces or starts off every single episode of Pugliese Speed Shop. Let me show you. So that's him right there. And you've seen him on other episodes where Pocket Chicken was born.
Real talk though, how's that chicken?
Did you just put that chicken out of your pocket, dude?
He's got another one in his back. He's got a wing in there or something.
And when we're working on his road glide, fixing that fuel pump.
What I do is I just try to take my hat and I turn it around, and it's like a switch that goes on. And when the switch goes on, I feel like another person. I feel like a truck, like a machine.
So, something else Michael likes to do is go camping. And he don't do it like I used to do it, with, a little circle of rocks for a campfire and a $20 tent from Walmart. He does that high dollar, that fancy stuff. Right, like that. So, he got himself a Cummins truck. He's got himself a camper that is bigger than my first two apartments put together. And, you know what, they go off and have a great time. So I'm breaking his balls, but he's got a beautiful setup. And he does his best to maintain stuff, right? He really does. He's got a nice truck, all that kind of stuff. All this stuff's pretty new, too. But there's some things you got to check on. That just because something's newer doesn't mean it was done right. And I'm saying that from the manufacturing point also. So here, we'll go sit down, and I'll kind of give you the whole lowdown of what happened, how it happened, and how you can avoid it. All right, guys, here's the breakdown. And we all do it. All right? So, Michael had a half-ton truck, right? Dodge Ram. Good-looking truck, had the Hemi in it, all that. And he had a smaller RV, camp trailer, whatever you want to call it. And he said, you know what? I'm trying to step it up. Dude did everything right. He went and got a 3/4 ton Dodge, brand new Hemi truck, right? A little bit bigger Hemi than the newer ones. Stout truck, beautiful truck, right? And he went out and bought this trailer. Now this camper, trailer, whatever, it's huge, right? It's beautiful. It's like a toy hauler, and like that back garage turns into a bedroom. There's like 2 bathrooms. It's, right? Buys that thing both brand new. It's like, okay, I'm set. Hauls around for a while, and some trips he went on, he comes some of the hills, that gas truck, the guys with the Cummins trucks were pulling away from him, and we can't have that. So just a couple weeks ago, he went out and bought a beautiful brand new Cummins truck, right? Dude's set now. Got a brand new truck, you got a 3-year-old camper, ready to go, right? And Labor Day weekend comes up. Come on, let's go. So they're going camping, the whole crew, and he was leaving town. Only made about 30 miles outside town when he blew a tire, right? So these things happen, right? What's the cause of it? Who knows? Well, he kind of knew, right? He saw one of his tires looking bad, threw the spare on there, I think a little while ago, and said, okay, I'll use this one for a spare, and I'll get some new tires. So, for whatever reason, he didn't get in the shop quick enough, whatever. All right, we'll do this one last trip, and then I'll throw it in the shop, get new tires. Yeah, we all know how that goes, right? So, he has a blowout. He calls me up, and he's like, hey, man, are you in town? Da, da, da. You know, I need a little bit of help because he didn't have a jack. It's okay. I was actually just coming off the base, and which is like far south. So I said, the kid's right there. He's 10 minutes away. Called Andrew. He's like, got it, Dad. He comes down the shop, grabs the jack I told him to grab. So some of this is my fault. And four-way, and he's lickety split, man. He's gone, right? Gets to Michael. He's helping him out. Then he calls me. He's like, got a situation. So what's up? He's like, this jack goes up a certain amount, picks the tire up. Kind of seems like it picked it up just even with the tire that was behind it, right? And then we're done. I was like, is it kind of high? He's like, yeah, a little bit. So put some wood under it, dude. Like, I'm thinking, like, these guys are smarter than this, right? And I should have known there was more, like, they are both smarter than this. So, like, I ain't the only guy that thought of putting, like, something underneath it. Either way, they try it. No good. So me and Jay were talking. He's like, hey, man, chances are that, you know, that jack just ain't got enough ass behind it. I was like, well, I think it's a 2.5 ton. Turns out it's a 2.25. But I said, okay. I said, dude, I'll grab the 3 ton and I'll be up there. So I leave Jay, take off, meet Mike up there, and they, guys, that 3 ton put in some work. And so did my shoulder, like trying to get this thing. It was a weird angle, but either way, man, it was tough to pick this thing up. So as we're doing it, Mike's like, hey, man, I probably should have told you. He's like, I got a full water tank. At this point, actually, he thought of this, and he's draining his water tank, hoping to relieve some weight. Full fuel tank for the generator. The generator's right there. There's a golf cart in there. I don't know if his road glide was. He didn't mention it, so probably not. But there's all that weight is right over that axle, which for pulling that trailer is exactly where you want it. But for picking that axle up, yeah, not so much. So we get it done. We get it changed. He's ready to leave. And I says, hey, man, you don't have like a jack? You don't have one of those little wedge things, you know, like you drive over? And he says, yeah, I have one of those. But he's like, the problem is it doesn't fit between the tires. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you put it in front of the tire, you drive over it. And, you know, we've all seen it. You've seen the infomercials, right? But it won't fit between the two because it was, in this case, it was the front tire that was bad. I said, can you just stick it behind that back tire and back up? And he was like, son of a bitch. Never thought of it. He's like, you know, I never had to do that. I never thought of it. I'm sure you can. And you can, right? And I'm not giving him a hard time about it because I was here with him the whole time, did the whole thing, and never asked that question. Actually, I never did. So, not till after we were done, right? So, but that's because all we were concerned with was getting the truck and trailer off the side of the road. That was it, right? You get excited, you know, you start to boom, 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 and you don't really just take a step back and think, wait a minute, there's got to be a better way. And in this case, there probably was, because that's exactly what that thing's made for, right? So, a few things that could have avoided this whole thing. Somebody's really pissed off out there. But is old Wade, you know how he does things. He's very methodical, right? So he's also got a similar setup. He's got an F-250, and he's got a little bit smaller trailer, but just as nice. It's let me crash it before, so thanks, buddy. But the first thing he did when he got that trailer was replace the tires, because he's been in a situation before where he knows those Guys, they put these things together, I don't want to say cheaply, but as inexpensively as possible, right? So that's somewhere where, yes, it meets all the safety criteria, but it might not be the best. Trailer tires suck, guys. All right, that's just the way to put it. You know, you see them, and then, well, yeah, look at this. Here, this is how his looked. It just, the tread just comes right off, right? And I don't believe they were retreads, if that's what happened. I doubt they were retreads. But, and on top of that, when Mike did a little research, his trailers are 2020. These tires were date coded 2018, I think he said. So here, he thinks he's got a 3-year-old tire. He's got a 5-year-old tire, which should have already been replaced by the date code. So they definitely should have matched that up, but I'm thinking the manufacturer probably got a little bit of a deal for getting the older ones, you know. So check that kind of stuff, you know. Don't ever trust the guy before you. I mean, you know, you don't, especially if it's somebody you don't know what you don't know, right? So, and in this case, it was a manufacturer, the guy that built the trailer. I mean, it's a company, right? So, old Wade swapped his tires out, and he hasn't had any problems. I mean, you know, knock on wood. But just knowing these little things, you know, because we get into stuff, you know, and you got to make sure you know all the ins and outs. That's all. And Mike quickly learned his lesson, right? He's like, he texted the group, guys, I ain't going to make it. You know, yeah, we put that spare on, which his spare was actually already on. This tire was looking kind of crappy, so he changed it, tried to be a little proactive. So now we got the crappy one on. Yeah, so yeah, he's like, this is a bad call. I'm not driving all the way up to Virginia and all that stuff with, you know, without a spare. Good call, Michael. Good call, right? So he tells him, I'm not going to make it. He calls the local RV guy and says, yo, I need tires. You know, what's up? And he said, well, okay, yeah. So it was about 5 miles away from where I met Mike. So he made a U-turn there and went right back to the place, dropped the camper off, said, get to it when you get to it, and I'll come pick it up. So awesome decision making right there. And I don't think he'll be in this situation again. But when you mess with this kind of stuff, any of these kind of toys, guys, I mean, it's like we say with the cars, right? I say if you want to have the coolest thing in the parking lot, you better be ready to put in some work, right? Well, if you want to go and have all these toys, you also better be ready to put in some work, whether it's RVs, motorcycles, boats, jet ski, whatever. Anything that's got like a motor on it, got to do that maintenance. Thanks for watching, guys.